The Renaissance time period, which lasted from the 15th century to the 17th century in Europe, was a period of great social change which saw major advancements in art, exploration, architecture and literature. And this is a period of history which often gets depicted in historical movies and films. And in this video I will be giving you my recommendations of 5 excellent Renaissance movies that you probably haven't seen yet. But before we begin, don't forget, if you love anything to do with historical movies and historical TV shows, then subscribe to my channel HistorySpark. At number 5, it is Anonymous, a period drama set during the 17th century in England, and this movie provides a fictionalized portrayal of the life of the Earl of Oxford, Edward de Vere. And this movie does its best to provide some legitimacy to the anti-Stratfordian theory, which is an unpopular and unsubstantiated theory that states that Shakespeare did not write or author any of his own plays and that he was just a figurehead for an unknown nobleman or lord who actually wrote the plays, and Anonymous tries to state that Edward de Vere was the true author of many of Shakespeare's plays. So this is definitely a unique and interesting premise that I haven't seen in any other historical film, and the movie does a great job of highlighting Renaissance culture through great costumes, set pieces and production design. The acting in this movie was great, with Rhys Ifans being the standout for me and Jamie Campbell being quite unimpressive here. But the story is really engaging and it depicts the story of Edward de Vere magnificently. So if you're looking for a slower based Renaissance film which focuses more on the art and theatre of 17th century England, then Anonymous is my recommendation for you. At number 4, it is The Agony and the Ecstasy, a classic historical drama set during the 16th century in Italy. And this movie is based off of The Agony and the Ecstasy book by Irving Stone. This movie is primarily a biographical film about the life of Michelangelo, one of the most famous artists and sculptors of the Renaissance era. And a particular focus is placed on the conflict between Michelangelo and Pope Julius II, as they both have differing viewpoints on how the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel should be painted. This movie has brilliant acting by Charlton Heston and Rex Harrison, who make up about 80% of the screen time, so their strong performances are definitely needed here to keep the viewer engrossed. There's actually not much to critique about this movie. The Agony and the Ecstasy does what it sets out to do very well, and if you're looking for a slower paced adventure about how two powerful men both try to push their own visions on one of the Catholic Church's most revered chapels, then The Agony and the Ecstasy is for you. At number 3, it is Alatriste, a 2006 epic historical film which is based off of the book series by Arturo Perez Reverte called The Adventures of Captain Alatriste, which is a historical fiction story taking place in 17th century Spain, and it depicts real life events and characters. The Spanish language film is the second most expensive film created by Spain, and it stars Viggo Mortensen as the titular character of the movie. I have actually watched this film with English subtitles and I enjoyed the film immensely and would consider it a good one-time watch. The costume design, battle scenes and acting in this film are great, but I do believe this film tries to encompass 5 novels in a 2-hour 25-minute time frame. So the plot is very quick and confusing, with time jumps and new characters being added all the time, which makes the movie especially confusing for viewers who, like myself, may not have read the Adventures of Captain Alatriste books before. So all in all, Alatriste is a good film with a fair number of flaws, but anything with Viggo Mortensen is worth at least a one-time watch. At number 2 is The Merchant of Venice, a film based off of the Shakespeare play by the same name. And I have to start off by saying that The Merchant of Venice is a very complex and multi-layered play, which would be hard to portray on the big screen, but this film nails it, and it is due in no small part to the amazing acting by Al Pacino, who portrays the role of Shylock, an angry Jewish moneylender who is harassed and abused due to his profession and religion. And it seems like playing an angry little guy with a score to settle is Al Pacino's specialty. And like I said previously, The Merchant of Venice is a complex play, and there are multiple storylines present within the film, such as a romance being pursued at the cost of a huge loan, contracts and debts not being honored, and the tensions between Christians and Jews within Venice are all greatly depicted. But this movie is not without flaws, as Jeremy Irons and Joseph Fiennes' performances are not great, and it takes a bit of time to get used to Al Pacino's New York accent. But these are minor critiques for what is overall an amazing Renaissance time period movie which doesn't seem to get the recognition it deserves. The top spot on this list goes to A Man for All Seasons, a historical drama which depicts the life of Thomas More from 1529 to 1535. Thomas More is a chancellor and trusted advisor to King Henry VIII, and the primary focus of this movie is on presenting Thomas More's opposition to King Henry's divorce to Catherine of Aragon and his refusal to acknowledge King Henry as the supreme head of the Church of England. This leads to some deadly and challenging situations for Thomas More to endure, and this movie does a great job of engrossing you with this fascinating and well-paced plot and some brilliant acting by Paul Scofield, alongside an amazing script. The main criticism I have of the film though is that a lot of the set pieces, costume design, and the production value of A Man of All Seasons is not great due to its low budget of only $2 million, which even by the standards of the 60s was still a very limited budget for what is supposed to be an epic historical film. But the plot and dialogue more than make up for this shortcoming, and A Man for All Seasons is a movie I can happily recommend to any viewer of this channel. So lastly, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do like and share this video with others. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel HistorySpark, as I post videos about historical movies and historical TV shows each and every week. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.